So this morning it saw the announcement of two new Switch games. That's right, it wasn't just Hyrule Warriors, we had a second surprise announcement, and I want to talk about them both because new games, they're never a bad thing, especially when they're coming in 2020. Also, I gotta say I'm pretty excited personally for the second one, and no doubt it will be eclipsed by Hyrule Warriors. So with that, look, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here, join our growing family, and let's get started. So first up, of course, that big announcement, the one that has everyone talking, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. This is the second Warriors game with a Zelda theme now to hit the console, and that follows the first in the series that was a port from the good old Wii U. For those that don't know, Warriors is basically one big hack and slash adventure. It will give you a battlefield, a basic goal, and set you out to take hundreds of incredibly dumb enemies down. In this series, it's basically enemy count or smart AI, and they nearly always rock with enemy count. Now sure, like everyone, I would have taken like Breath of the Wild 2 over this any day, but you know what, it might not be deep, but it is a whole lot of fun, and it has like a solid fiscal level of entertainment. The idea also, like Ganon's troops just marching onto the field ahead of me, literally hundreds of them, something definitely special in that which I can't wait to see. Dropping right around Christmas, so November 20th, this is the game I think the Switch needed to close like 2020 out, just to kind of pad out that release calendar a tiny bit more. If it is anything like the first one, we can expect a ton of playable characters. I think there was like close to 30 in the original, a ton of enemies, and then no doubt a decent chunk of gameplay. The first game, you were looking at around 16 hours for a main story run, but for completionists, this thing was well over 100 hours. I'm looking forward to this one though. I really like the idea, like the offense of the Great Calamity 100 years before The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'm pretty confident this one's gonna deliver, and I'm excited for something that's not gonna take itself too seriously and it's just kind of out to entertain. September 26th now seems to be when the next batch of information will come on this one, so we can look forward to that. Now if you are already set to part with your cash for this, you've made up your mind, physicals available, and then digital, it comes with a pre-order bonus, a lucky ladle. Not enough to keep me away from physical personally, but each to their own. I'm also kind of hoping for a collector's edition of this one. They did it with Fire Emblem Warriors, so maybe Zelda will get the same treatment. Then though, that was not the only new game announced today. Not at all. Rollercoaster Tycoon 3. I know it's not quite as sexy as Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, but you know what? If you're around my age, you grew up with the likes of Theme Park, Theme Hospital, and then of course the mighty Rollercoaster Tycoon. After the disappointment that was Rollercoaster Tycoon Adventures at the end of like 2018 from Atari, and how the mighty have fallen there, they're like a shell of what they once was, I just thought the series was done, destined for like iOS and Android stores for the rest of its existence. Well, I'm thankful to say I was wrong, or at least in some way. Rollercoaster Tycoon, it's giving it another shot on the Switch, and this time instead of, messing around with like new experiences and new ideas, they just took the third game, a solid entry, slapped a complete edition on the end of the name to make it kind of sound sexy. It also like throws in, the DLCs, the Soaked Pack and the Wild Pack, and then they're going to start shipping this bad boy on September 24th, or at least that would be the case if it was getting a physical release, which hopefully it will. This one though, it has an average 81 Metacritic score, so we know it's solid stuff. It was the introduction for the series of the 3D visual style. It's promising now more than 300 rides, 500 pieces of scenery, 60 shops, 20 animals. You can even customize the way your guests look and lead firework and laser light shows. In all seriousness though, I was addicted to these games, and after seeing how well Two Point Hospital ran on the Switch, this is my next hope. I think this could be really special, and they've priced it just right. It's like 50% of a AAA release. Seems absolutely fair to me. This, it even comes from the original devs, so you know some serious care has gone into it by a team that actually knows what they are doing and how to treat it with the respect it deserves. I'm excited. There's a near endless experience here, so it's easy to get that money's worth, and as long as they get the controls down, this may well be a go-to experience for me for a long time to come. So with that, will you be picking either of these up, or even just picking up both? I'm curious to hear everyone's thoughts down below in the comments. I know that the Warrior style of gameplay, it's not for everyone, so will the promise of a new kind of Breath of the Wild story be enough to tempt you in? I think you just gotta go in with the right expectations. It looks like Zelda, but it won't necessarily, to a certain extent anyway, play like Zelda. I enjoyed my time with the first entry though, so yeah, I think it could be something good. Honestly though, release-wise around the end of the year, there's very little else to look at right now. There's nothing exactly screaming, take my credit card. Rollercoaster Tycoon, on the other hand, you can take my cash immediately. So a quick shout out then to the patrons of the channel who are just going above and beyond to support SwitchCorner. Truly is appreciated, and if you want to check that out for yourself, it is linked in the video description down below. Then hit subscribe if you love the Switch, as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.